Moca Talk. It's showtime. Moca Talk, your number one podcast in the whole world. We talk about wealth, health, relationships, religion, and many exciting topics. Moca Talk. Think about it. Today on Moca Talk, Battle of the Sexes, Indodamust.
Welcome to Moca Talk. I'm so excited. You guys look amazing. You become handsome and muscular. What's happening with you? Uncle Chris.
I've been training, bro.
You're training.
I've been training.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. You need to take care of yourself. And you know, my sister, why aren't you on TV?
Why aren't I on TV?
You look like TV to me.
I'm here now, so yeah, it's getting there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the beautiful Miss Gorula, God's favorite, right here on Moca Talk, and Uncle Chris, an R&B sensational. He's international. You've gone international. I've watched your music videos on channel. Oh, you're going big, man.
Thanks, bro.
That's good. But then today, there's this cold war between, the sexes on TV. You know, where men indodamust and all that. Women abuse physically sometimes, which we as Moca Talk we totally against. What can you say about this topic, about this cold war between the two sexes? I'll start with the ladies, as they say, ladies first.
Okay. We're not supposed to be fighting in the first place. It's wrong that we find ourselves in that space of fighting as men and women. Somebody said we must make love, not war. So it's actually wrong that we fighting, but I'm sure it has to do a lot with some inferiority complexes amongst the two genders.
You caught my attention right there when you say make love. What do you mean make love? You mean really make love? Or let's leave that aside. And Uncle Chris, what are you gonna say about this?
I think the problem here is with women.
Oh my.
Women want to be like men, and it's naturally men can never be women, and women can never be men.
No, I feel like, you know what you just said, ne? For me, you've just shown the biggest problem that we must actually first work on. You said that women want equality.
Yeah.
So are we actually saying that men and women are not equal? Are we not all human? When the Constitution talks about equal rights for all, being equal, are we saying that is wrong? They should have said men are higher and women are lower. Is that not oppression in the first place?
But no, it's not oppression. It's natural. You cannot bypass that. Women can never be equal to men. Men can never be equal to. We're not saying that men are bigger or women are bigger, but we cannot be equal.
Can I interject right there? Equal could you maybe be referring to they are not the same?
Yes.
Of course we're not the same.
Yes.
We're not the same as animals, we're not the same as... But when you say we're not equal, are you saying men are higher and then women are lower? What are you saying?
Now look. I mean, okay, here, the reason why we're having this conversation today is because women think that they are equal to men.
So we are above when they're surely not equal.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I think what Uncle Chris is saying is that we not the same, and therefore the responsibility and cannot be the same. Like we cannot expect a woman to change as better, a tire that is flat, and maybe you cannot expect a man to be doing traditionally dishes in the kitchen. Maybe that's where we come from. I want to bring in something here that starts with right there, maybe because he's the one that is bringing these issues, Uncle Chris. Let's bring this. I've been in the sex. I'm trying to get to the gist of this. I had that before somewhere where they talk of modern prostitution. Where do you think really in a relationship? I'm not talking of a situation where a man goes to the street and buy. In a relationship. Here am I. I'm dating this lady, and then they feel like I need to pay because they feel that I benefit more when it comes to sex, as if they don't want me sexually, I want them more. What do you feel? What do you feel? I want to hear the both of you. Gurula, you want to start with, is that fair in a relationship where somebody has to pay because they're having sex, and you think sex with a woman, and they think that a man has to pay for sex because they enjoy it more, they want it more, and all that? That's more than prostitution, really, honestly.
I've not been in a situation where I have to make my man pay.
Okay.
So I can't speak in that level. But when we have to talk about issues of modern day prostitution, I actually read an article by, I think it's Professor Kodze. She explains what modern prostitution is. She tries to dissect it so much that you understand. For example, you're a musician, isn't it? You find that when you do your music video, you feel a need to have a beautiful woman in the music video. And you always feel that if I have beautiful women, people will tend to watch my video more. I know a lot of people do that. They will not look for a normal girl, they will look for that kind of yellow bone type of a woman. So you are actually doing prostitution through your music video. You are selling a woman, you're using her body to get viewers. So if we talk about prostitution, it just has different levels. But men also use women to get money, because you're going to get money out of all the viewership and all that, isn't it? So you have started modern prostitution. So women who decide that they are going to stand up and start selling their own bodies, they are more bold to say that instead of Uncle Chris using me in his music video to make money for himself, I'm going to just go direct and just sell to a man one-on-one. Because that's what men want.
Can I interject there? I'm saying in a relationship, you are dating this guy. Mm-hmm. You are in a relationship with this guy. An honest relationship, open one. Rather.
We're not talking about
We're not talking about that. That obviously, if you hire somebody, whether a man or a woman, you need to pay them if it's for a music video.
It's true, but I was just trying to outline that prostitution is bigger. The modern day prostitution tends to be more bigger than we think. We're only looking at these women who are doing one, like demand, you want money, you want sex, but it goes beyond that.
But do you think it's fair in a relationship?
It's not fair in a relationship. I wouldn't promote that in a relationship. In fact, I wouldn't be in a relationship.
What can you tell the ladies that feel that their men have to buy this and that and that and that for them? If they do not buy for them, then they can actually, upgrade and go get another man. Because that thing is there. What can you say to them? You see, you are a lady, maybe you can speak, something to them, unlike if it's a man saying that, they'll say, it's a man, he's supposed to say that.
I think the men themselves should love themselves enough not to engage in that. I mean, the minute you notice that this is the kind of woman she has to be bought, then look for somebody who loves you. Look for love.
All right.
That's what I would say.
Uncle Chris, you have something to say there before I can talk of women abuse here.
Okay, I think maybe the question is not really answered. What he is saying, from my perspective, from what he's saying is women. I'm in a relationship with Bonang Mativa. Mm-hmm. She's my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And now it's...
You are? I'm just checking, man.
No, thing of the past.
Oh!
You for real?
Oh, okay. Well.
But she did mention that she has something in her life, so you don't. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, look, I think what you're saying, you correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying is, I'm in a relationship with DJ Zintle.
Oh, those are examples.
Yes,
all right.
I'm in a relationship with her, and I'm expected as a man to provide. I'm expected to, if I don't do things for DJ Zintle, if I don't buy flowers on Valentine's Day, if I don't buy her gifts,
A car.
it means that I'm not man enough. So it means I'm expected. There's someone that I've heard say, men are expected to become, but women are they want to be. It means that a man should become something in order to please a woman. But a woman can be just a woman. She was born a woman. So my point here is sex. The difference between I'm trying to get to your point. The difference between the prostitute in the streets and the one that in a relationship is that the one in the streets has more clients than the one in a relationship. The only difference is that you only have one client.
And they gotta foot the bill. I mean, you're bringing in something that's gonna be a heavy bill right there. And what you're saying now, it brings to my mind a question that says, so will they really change their fathers if their fathers cannot afford?
Exactly.
You know?
My father is my mother's decision. He's not my decision. He's not the person that I chose. Definitely, I can't change my father.
So you
but
would
you cannot, because I see a lot of people labeling women like that. But you say you want a man who has this and that. What about your father? My father was never my decision. If it was my mother's blunder, unfortunately,
but
was.
It can be your decision to dump him for a better father.
Definitely, I can't do that. I'm his seed.
But
so we can't use that.
But okay,
all right.
Which is your
What I'm saying, I think what he was saying was that why is it that you want to have a certain type of guy, like let's say a higher caliber kind of a man. Meanwhile, maybe you have a low class kind of a father who can't afford certain things that you want now.
Yeah.
So hence I was saying that in that case, I cannot be blamed for my mother's decision.
Yeah.
And I cannot change it, but I am allowed and I'm free to look for a kind of man that suits my needs,
that can pay for sex.
Not that can pay for sex.
Oh, all right. On that note, I think I'm gonna cut this one. Then we're gonna go for an ad break right here on Moca. And in the meantime, please think about it.
Moca Talk. Think about it. Moca Talk. Think about it.
Okay, welcome back right here. Moca Talk is heating up. It's still gonna be very, very hot. Like I said, in the meantime, think about it. Think about it. And my brother, my sister, we I think the bottom line is that I don't think people should pay for sex unless if they buy it in the street. Now I want to bring this issue here. Women's work at home is not seen as something important. It's not credited. Let's just say, for an example, a lady is not employed, doesn't have that 9-to-5 job. But then as men, we tend to overlook that and say, well, she's useless and all that, and that leads to physical abuse, which we totally against. What can you say to men that are actually using that? You know, that they're not valuing what a man is doing at home.
A man or a woman?
A woman,
Okay.
of course. A woman is doing at home. Thank you so much. Yes, what can you advise men that do not value that and tend result to sometimes to physical abuse because you are useless, I helped you, I did 1, 2, 3 for you and all that. Yes.
No, I think she should start.
She should start.
I should start an advocate for you.
Okay, what can you say, Mrs.
I
Miss
think
Gurkha?
we need to start thinking deeper. I think that's where all of us need to start. it's very difficult for you to weigh what a woman does on a day-to-day basis unless if you've tried it for some time. Like waking up midnight to just breastfeed, or the baby's crying throughout the whole night. Should you try it maybe for 2 days or 3 days, you'll start to appreciate it. But a lot of men don't engage in such activities. And I think it's because of the cultural stigma that is placed on men who tend to do what we call women's work. So if we could just try to kill that, have men being part of the family, being part of the woman, see what she does, help her a bit, they will now tend to respect and really see that my woman is doing her best that she can. And women actually work, those kind of women, the housewives, they work 24 hours. Meanwhile, as a man, you'll be working for like 9 to 5. So they do more, they take more hours. That is why even our courts are trying very hard to make sure that women like that, whom a man may feel didn't contribute, let's say when they divorce, they look into those things that no, but she was actually helping in the home. She has taken care of your 5 children and all that. She was helping you, ironing your clothes for you to go to work. So she deserves something. You can't say, I'm the only one who worked for this empire and all those things. So I think we must just break that stigma of labeling activities as women's work and men's work. Because nowadays, if you are to say this is a woman's work, is to clean up the kitchen and whatever, I still go to work in corporate and all that. It's different from back then when women were not given much opportunity to corporate.
So, Ms. Guruda, what you're saying is that, and that's what I'm trying to establish, is it that you women need to be paid for that?
They don't need to be paid for that. They
What is it that can make a woman feel appreciated except money?
Look, in fact, I think I actually retrieved the word to say they shouldn't be paid. I think a relationship, you decide on your relationship how you want to have it be. Because I've seen on TikTok that women who get an allowance, wives.
So what are you saying? We're trying to balance it. We're trying to have.
All I'm saying is that be part of the woman's work, so-called work. I'm just using it as.
What do you mean? Must I breastfeed?
You can't breastfeed, but let's say
I want you to be clear.
When a child, let's say a child is crying at night, try to wake up and help out. Let's say, okay, you know what? I'll be the one who will hold the child, just to see and understand what your woman go through, so that you can tend to appreciate it much better.
Okay, just before I bring in Uncle Chris, so you mean you don't have to answer this one? You actually mean that if that
I would want my men to give me some money. For if I was a housewife, I would say, babe, please give me something so that I can,
allowance will be given, allowance, and we're saying women must be appreciated, and their work at home must be valued, and they mustn't be seen as though they're not doing anything, such that the allowance should be there. I'm just intrigued by what you just said now. Before I bring in Uncle Chris, that you're saying I should wake up at night and help with the baby and all that. Do you think maybe Uncle Chris, when I give him a chance, he will say, do you think maybe, let me just bring you in, do you think maybe when the roof is leaking also a woman has to climb the roof and feel what a man feels? Is that what she's saying?
Not really. Look, there's
I was bringing in Aglo, but then you can go. Let's go. Go.
Okay, like this is what we call, there's what we call fair discrimination. Like when they say fair discrimination, like if right now they're advertising a job, they can say we cannot hire women on the basis that maybe she won't be able to carry this everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to say there's some things you can't ask a woman to do because she's just a weaker vessel in such that she might not have the strength.
You mean physically?
That. Yeah, physically.
So you may find that mentally a man is not strong to carry a baby that is vomiting and crying and all.
I wonder if there really is such a thing of mentally.
Like you said before, you've never been a man.
Yeah, I am.
And suddenly you act as though you've been a man.
No.
Just to cut it short, Uncle Chris, your input just before I go to the restaurants and all those kind of things. On women's, do you value women's work at home? What do you think they deserve? Do they deserve
course.
flowers and money?
No, they don't deserve anything. I mean, you cannot praise a fish for swimming.
Oh yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
A woman has to do that. It's her duty, especially when you don't bring in money in the house.
Mm.
It's your duty to take care of everything when I'm at work.
Mm.
So I cannot pay you. It's like me paying my mom for being my mom.
So if she's the one who's working, being employed, and you are unemployed,
You must
what
take care of the
happens?
baby.
So you will take care of the baby because
You must
you are
breastfeed.
bringing nothing into the table at this
No,
time.
and no, it's impossible.
What makes
It's
it
just
impossible?
impossible and unnatural. If you if you're the one who's bringing money into the house,
And you are retrenched at that time.
and you need to hire someone to
So what
to
does the
work.
man do
You need to-
in that instance?
I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I'm just trying to come up with a solution. But that's how it is.
I think you can do the garden.
So you
Yeah.
say,
You know why I'm bringing
so
this
you're saying
to-
domestic work only belongs or should be done by women?
That's how it
only?
is. Kings don't go to the kitchen.
Kings. A
Yes.
king is somebody who has people, who has money.
I believe-
So if you are retrenched and you are unemployed, there's no kingship in
No, you're getting it wrong. A man is a king. A man is if I'm your man, I'm your king, and you're my queen.
Okay,
That's
I
how it
wouldn't
is.
have a king who doesn't
Now
do
you-
anything.
What he's saying is that are you a queen?
Definitely, I'm the
So it
queen.
means then there's a king. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
I wouldn't,
I'm not-
I wouldn't have a king for
And I'm not
myself
saying I'm
who sits at
siding with
home
what-
the whole day.
Look, I think this is a serious issue that needs to be solved because women were told that if they have money, with money, socioeconomic status, a job, and what else? And education. If you check on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere, it's always ladies posting the graduation pictures. They want to be validated. They want to be seen as the heroes of the family. That's where it originates. Women want to be praised.
So we're not supposed
So-
to post our achievements on
No,
social
I'm not
media.
saying you shouldn't. I'm just telling you how you women want to be perceived.
How do you want to be perceived? 1 minute you were saying that we were prostitutes, the next minute
No,
now
now
we want to be praised by...
no. This is a different point. It's different from the one that.
Why wouldn't you
we
say that
work on.
women are trying to inspire other women to follow suit? Because if I post my graduation, whatever, usually I would do it so that I can show
inspire
other
somebody,
girls that it's
yeah.
possible to actually become somebody who has a qualification and the likes. So it shouldn't be perceived as again trying to be seen.
I think she has a point right there. But then let me bring in another point here. Kuruda, have you done this before? Have you invited a guy to a restaurant and said, let's do lunch? And then when the bill comes and then you expect the guy to pay. Have you done that before? Have you heard of somebody or women doing? Because I'm bringing this because usually I don't go to a restaurant, I cook at home. I heard that men are being abused in that regard, where the girl will say, let's do lunch, and then when the bill comes, then they don't want to pay. Yet they, propose the whole thing.
I think I'm the most archaic personality ever. I don't believe in asking a man out, so I would never actually tell a man.
Have you heard
out.
about?
Yes, I've actually seen one. I saw one, actually a video of some ladies in Botswana. They actually went out with some guys, and then they got there. Like, okay, a guy invited, I think, 2 women, like 2 guys invited.
It
2
was
women.
it who invited, who started with this thing, who proposed this thing? Because the person that came with the idea of going to the restaurant or wherever must be taking the responsibility, or at least there must be an agreement that everyone is going to pay for their
In this regard, okay, a guy invited, but the lady invited her friends.
Oh my.
To say, they invited me for an outing. The dude is moneyed, let's go. So then she calls a whole club of people to his surprise. And then he looks at it and feels like, no, this, I'll just be putting myself in a dish. So he decided to just pay for himself and paid for the lady since he invited her and left the friends, whatever. And he left without saying anything.
The guy ran away.
Dude wouldn't pay, yes.
And rightfully so.
Yeah,
because he didn't call the other.
Yeah, I mean, that one.
Do you think it's fair though?
No, it's very much unfair. I think it's very much unfair. You shouldn't do that as a woman or even as a man.
You shouldn't call somebody and say, let's do lunch, and then suddenly you want them to pay.
I can do that to my boyfriend. I'm like, baby, you'll be paying. Let's go.
Well, I think if it's a known fact that I'm gonna pay, or the other guy is gonna pay, or the girl for that matter, they have to pay as well. If I tell them you're gonna be paying, then it's all right. It mustn't be a hidden agenda. I have a problem when it becomes a hidden agenda. Then you find out right in the restaurant that you have to pay. Uncle Chris.
I think if you invite someone, whether it's your boyfriend or anyone, if you invite someone, if you make plans, you gotta have a budget for the plans. It's unfair to the person that you invited.
To just tell them on the dot that you'll be paying.
No, it's unfair for you to make plans at my expense.
In other words, it's wrong to look at your nails and then think of my money.
Exactly.
Guys, you can't complain about 180, 250 for nails, guys.
I'm just giving an example.
You don't have.
Yeah, I may not have at that moment. Or I may have. I mean, guys are...
You know, like, I think this is what this show is all about. We're trying to give men who don't have the platform to express themselves. You understand? You say like it's nothing. 250 is nothing, and a man has been conditioned to believe that 200 rand paying for a woman is nothing. It's what I'm supposed to do. That's what you're saying.
You know what happens, ne? Maybe I see it in this. There are two sides to this whole story. You see, culturally, we are made to believe that men are superior. That's what you spoke about when we started. You were going like men are superior and women shouldn't see themselves as equal to men. And if we have to view men culturally, then it's like we're viewing them as superior beings, as the kings. A king must have wealth. That's what makes you a king.
So
now, if we're viewing it culturally, so it makes sense to say my king must pay for my nails. And cats. Let me switch it. Let me take it away.
Typical of women.
Don't cut it. Typical
The
women.
phone just rang now. We spoke about it.
When I get scared, I can't even switch it.
We spoke about it that phones needs to be off.
My phone can be off.
But then because of women's rights. Of women's rights, and then they have a right to mess up the show. But anyway, what I was still saying, what will be the responsibility of a man in a relationship, and what are the responsibilities of a woman? Maybe we should bring it together right there, because there's this issue of indodamust. Where did it come from? Indodamust. What must Indoda do? And I'm not saying Indoda must not. I'm saying, why must indodamust and indodagas must not?
This is where...
And where?
Okay, there's the thing, ne? Like I was trying to say in the last topic, ne? Men tend to bring culture into a relationship where they want women to just be suppressed and they must be somehow above. Even religiously, men tend to use the scripture that says that a woman must submit. So therefore meaning that they are superior beings. So women come and say that if you're superior, become superior in every dimension of the relationship. Don't be superior when you have to give orders telling me that you can't go and you can't have male friends, you can't what. But then when it's time for you to show your manly power, your superiority in terms of paying, suddenly you can't pay. So it's like you are always looking for a way of escape that...
So are you equating you having made friends with paying, with money?
No. What I'm saying is that if a man says that he is superior, like you said in the beginning, follow suit in every part of the relationship. Pay for... Since when you're superior, you're the king and you have a king has wealth, then pay for the bill. That's where it comes
otherwise
to.
you mustn't be the king. That's
Otherwise, then you're not a king.
So you must be the king.
I must be me. I must just be me.
Just one thing. Do you want your men to have female friends?
I can't restrict the kind of friends.
No, I'm not saying can you restrict. I'm saying do you want?
Do I want him to have female friends?
Yes.
I want him to have all kinds of friends, but then definitely with limitations in how they interact.
Do you want your men to have male friends? I mean female friends.
I'm saying I'm okay with my man having female friends.
friends.
But then there will definitely be some certain level of restrictions in how they interact. It can't be like with a man. They can't be in the house all alone, you know.
How would you know?
They're coming to watch soccer together, you know. I can't
They are
allow
friends.
that. Yeah, you're friends, but I would want my man to have some form of restrictions where he makes me feel comfortable wherever I am, knowing that they're seeing each other in public. They're not in a cozy space.
The reason why I brought that up, it looks as if you were advocating for the fact that if your man can tell you that you cannot have male friends, then they must pay the bills. In other words, they are bossing you around, they're telling you what you must do and what not to do. And because of that, they are supposed to pay the bill. Uncle Chris, what do you say about what you said now about male friends and female? Do you believe your woman, if you were to have a woman, one day should have male friends?
No, I don't believe in it. I wouldn't want to have my woman have, not even a cousin, bro.
Oh yeah. Not even
a male cousin.
Not even gay friends.
Nah, not even.
So, assuming your woman is a businesswoman, I'm a businesswoman, so I have to network with a lot of people. And one of the best ways for you to build your business is you must just have a lot of friends.
There are friends, there are acquaintances. So you're talking about acquaintances now.
I would want it to be more friends, being so close to you such that whenever you're doing a project, I get to know about it. I get to be a part of you, so it makes it easier for you to give me work.
You can be part of my wife's. So if I had a wife, by the way, I don't have a wife. I would not allow my wife to have male friends.
So how is she going to grow in?
There are business partners.
Yeah.
Business partners and male friends. Male friends come to your house and eat your food, even when the husband is not around.
Hence, I was saying there can be some restrictions that you put in place to say, okay, my woman, I understand that you need to have friends, you need to interact with people.
Can we be frank here? So one of the things is that you can have male friends, but don't have sex with them. I mean, that is where it boils down to. I mean, let's be frank. Let's not.
Yeah, of course.
But then how would you know they're not having sex?
I mean, the kind of person that you choose in the first place should be somebody that you trust.
But sex can take place in 30 minutes. How would you know they never had sex?
Look,
by trusting. Just trust.
Love
Trust
is trust. Love is trust.
Trust doesn't guarantee things won't happen.
Okay, you said love is trust. Okay, we're gonna come to that point when
the topic.
Yeah.
All right, back to the main topic. I think right here what we picked here is that anyone that makes plans They need to have a budget for that.
Yes.
And then men mustn't abuse women. It's totally unacceptable. As Moca Talk, we totally against that. For any reason, if people's relationship doesn't work out, let them rather split than to physically hit a woman. We don't promote that.
Yeah.
And also a kitchen swag or woman's swag at home, it needs to be valued in one way or the other, appreciated, and maybe in words and all that. We're not saying they must get money
Or in
get
finances.
money. And as Moca Talk, we're saying they must be appreciated. How it mustn't feel as though somebody owes the next person some yes. And also religion mustn't oppress women. We mentioned those kind of things. Sex must not be seen as something that needs to be paid for in a relationship, because both partners enjoy the sex. And
Are they enjoying? Really?
The women.
Yeah.
You can tell us, unless if you want to tell us your man.
No, my man is good. But
so you're enjoying it.
Yes, I am.
So
but
that's
I've seen a
good.
lot of
So now
people-
that's what we're saying, that because both parties enjoy it, and I think around that we came to a conclusion that I think this cold war between women and men needs to be balanced in a way that we need not oppress one another as men and women. Need to support each other, not abuse each other, not take advantage of each other. But then there must be fairness. Everyone must know their roles. In other words, a woman is not expected to be on top of the roof fixing a leaking roof, and also a man is not expected to be in the kitchen doing some stuff. I'm just saying, so something like that came out of this topic.
Moca Talk. Think about it. Advertise your business with us right here on Moca Talk. Email info@mocatalk.com. Moca Talk. Think about it.
But can there be trust, really? Can there be?
If indeed it's love, there should be trust. We look at 1 Corinthians 13.
You're gonna go.
What is
scripture,
love?
You're gonna go script. What about somebody who is not a Christian? Now, I want you to reason. I'm a born again myself, and then let's talk to a general person.
Even to a general person, it's part of the positive things
Alright.
that you must exercise. So trusting somebody, it's actually good, and it makes love to flow even much
my
better.
question being that, can there be trust, really? Can you trust somebody?
There can be trust. It must be built. Usually I'll talk in my stance and in my relationships. It's always been something that has to be built. I usually start with insecurities based on the past relationships I might have had, where things went sour and all that. So I would usually engage my partner to say, I feel insecure when this and this happened, so help me build the trust. And I believe trust becomes built with time.
So building it's enough, and then you can trust somebody. So there's no need to, say for example, you marry somebody, you have to sign at the magistrate, because Uncle Chris, what can you say about trust? He's talking about trust.
Okay. First of all, I want to know what kind of trust is it. Is it trust when it only benefits a woman, or it is just trust? Because now, as you mentioned, now if I have to marry you as a woman, it's because I trust you. First of all, you're the one who's cooking for me. I trust you.
That I won't poison you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then now, when we have to get married, things change. Why do things have to change? Why do I have to sign a contract? Because when I believe that if you have to sign a contract, it's because you don't trust the second party.
Nah, come on, man, Uncle Chris. so you don't want any signing at all.
What for? I mean, I trust her. Why doesn't she trust me? Why is it only trust when when it's convenient for you?
It's not about, I don't think, okay, I don't know how you guys do it in your relationships in there, but it's not a one-way street. It's not like we're signing a contractual marital contract in the name of, I want you to know that you can trust me whatsoever. For me, marriage has always been issues of admin. It's administration. Administrative law as it is. It's not about you and me only. It's about if I die, then what happens to my assets? Then you must make sure that it is clear on who has.
But you can trust that everything's gonna go well if something happened, if you died. Isn't it? We're talking about trust. Why must there be a signature? That's what I'm asking. Like for an example, would you sign, Uncle Chris? Would you sign with your mother that I want you to sign that you're my mother? I want to know.
I was not even there when I was born. I mean, I didn't see it personally. I'm not sure she's my mother, but I trust that she is.
So there's no need to sign.
There's no need to sign.
But remember, when coming to being born, the birth certificate is some form of signatory on its own because it justifies where were you born, who was your mother, who's your mother, and all that. So it's there, and it's just for admin purposes.
Okay, let's talk about my brother. I don't have a signature. Didn't sign that I'm my brother's little brother.
But then there's a lead because the birth certificate show your brother's birth certificate will explain.
We have a child together.
I don't get that.
We have a child together.
You and I.
Yes.
Having a child
that
together.
That should be enough.
But then I could also have children with other men. So, like I'm saying, for me, marriage has always been one of those administrative purposes where you just sign, not in the name of so that we can get to trust each other, but so that whenever government wants to know the assets, they...
Could you please look me in the eye? And
yeah, look here. I don't have a problem with it, but what I'm saying is that it's more of like administrative purposes. And truly speaking, we've had those instances where when somebody's husband dies, and then an aunt out of nowhere just
why
comes.
should it be the husband that dies first?
Because men are careless, and then they usually do careless stuff, and then they'll always die first. Men will always die first. That's standard.
Oh my goodness.
Women are scared to speed their cars. They are not likely to die.
I don't think men would like to hear that. In that case, when you believe in paper and administrative and all that, will you then agree with men, Korula, who say that for every child that they're going to have, it must be by law that we do a DNA to check if, they are really the father? Would you agree? That's administrative. I mean, like they're doing they check the blood pressure of the child, they check a lot of things. Can we say they are justified? Men calling out there to say, we need to know if this is my child. It must be by law. What do you say about that?
Look,
for administrative
it's not a problem. The first question that I can ask you, Uncle Chris, will the men even be there in hospital to certify that they test him? Because usually men run away the very beginning of the pregnancy, first trimester, the men will be nowhere to be found. He always denies before the pregnancy can go too far. So even if that was happening by law, I wonder how many men will even be there in hospital to exercise that particular activity.
Okay, let's talk about men who are there.
For men who are there, it's okay if they wanted to do that, but I feel it would be a waste of the state's money to include DNA. I mean, we already low in budget as a country.
So you don't think it's a good idea?
No, it's okay. Look, in the situation I'm in, if I was to be in a relationship with a man and then he tells me, especially being married, and then he tells me he wants to do a DNA, I won't lie. A part of me would feel sad.
Guys, your business, let's talk about your business. You're both running businesses, you're successful. What do you do? And where can they find you?
I am running a business called Recast Media Agency. We are specialists in digital marketing, website development, If you want me, you'll get me online. You just go to www.recastmediaagency.com, or you can also find us on Facebook. You see our exquisite work that we do for different companies, different brands, and yeah, you love us.
All right. Can we drop them there, your numbers, so they can find you on your website?
They should find me on my website.
All right,
and
that's
Facebook.
good. Then Uncle Chris, what's new? What's new in your world now?
I make music, beautiful music, R&B, soulful house, and...
Are you bookable? Can they book you for weddings and indoor shows, whatever thing?
Yeah, it's bluesoulmedia@gmail.com. BLU soul media@gmail.com.
All right, on that note, because it was hitting up, like we always say right here on Moca Talk, think about it. What we said right here, it's our views, it's their views, but you gotta think about it.
Yeah.
Right here on Moca Talk. Thanks very much for tuning in and for watching this episode. More episodes to follow right here on Moca Talk.
Moca Talk. Think about